Would you rather sign Frankie de Jong and Virgil van Dijk or Kevin De Bruyne and Matthijs de Ligt?
Ooh, wow. I would eat my shoe if there were no sackings, and I have lost some bets on this channel before. Sorry, you're breaking up. Maybe that's why.
So all of that and more coming up in the next few minutes as myself and Paddy once again sift through your questions, where I'm going to start this week.
You're up, and you've got a tongue twister for the first one as well. Sabiysachi? Pretty good effort, I think.
Yeah. Give it 8 out of 10. Yeah. Which team needs Neymar the most, Real or Barca?
Oh, it's a really interesting arm wrestle for him at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's not even, I read something last night, it's not even really about getting Neymar, it's about actually beating the other team to Neymar.
Oh, God, that's so petty.
It's so Barcelona, Real Madrid, though, really. I actually think possibly the person, or the team, that needs him most is actually Real Madrid in the short term.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well, they had a bad season, so they need better players.
Yep.
That's like taking it down to a simple level.
Which I tried to do.
But like in terms of fitting into the team, Hazard's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, he can play a bit more advanced. Obviously, Neymar as well. He drifts outside a little bit as well. But I think for an on-field sort of thing, then I think it's Real Madrid.
Yeah.
How weird's that going to be, seeing Neymar in a Real Madrid kit if it comes off?
I feel like he'd encounter the same problems as at PSG. That if he's not the main guy, he'll just throw a tantrum and then just
potentially
want to leave again.
Yeah. Stay tuned. I mean, the next couple of days are going to be very, very interesting.
More than Barca for sure.
So, from Posh Green, what if Spurs were in the Bundesliga? Would they win a trophy, or would they finally win a trophy apart from the Audi Cup, which of course is a mid-season friendly?
I honestly think, in true Spurs style, they would. You're going to hate me for it. They would battle it out with Dortmund for second place.
No, we tend to. I mean, Spurs obviously greatly outplayed Dortmund last season in the Champions League. Comprehensively. I think after Dortmund in the Bundesliga, you can throw a bit of a blanket over Gladbach and Leipzig and Leverkusen. When Schalke have a good season, they can obviously mix it with that level as well. Yeah, I would say it's a fair call. I don't normally agree with your Spurs takes, but there you go.
Yeah. They would just make it a 3-horse race, I guess.
Probably,
but
yes.
Bayern would probably still come out on top.
Yeah.
Right, King Johnny, or transfer window quick fire so far. So I'm guessing who's had the better window?
Okay.
Spurs or Arsenal?
Ooh, that's a really tough one. I'm going to go with Arsenal, actually, just more on depth than anything.
Barca or Atletico?
That's another good one. These are good ones, King Johnny. I'm going to go with Barcelona just. They've just got more established. There's too many question marks over Atleti, but could change.
Real Madrid or Dortmund?
Dortmund.
Oh, even with Hazard?
Yeah, I mean, Hazard's a great signing, but I think pound for pound, and with what the money they've spent, Dortmund probably
I think everyone appreciates Dortmund's business.
Yeah, correct.
Correct, yeah. Inter Milan or Bayern?
Inter Milan.
Stay tuned for Bayern news, by the way. Something has to happen soon.
For sure.
Leicester or Everton?
That's a really good one, actually. Again, both fantastic.
Yeah.
A bit of business on both clubs. I would say just Everton because of Moise Kean, but the Tielemans deal for Leicester was fantastic as well. Just tough
Man
one.
United or Wolves?
Wolves.
Some interesting ones here. Some really close ones.
Yeah.
And Man City or Arsenal?
I think Man City.
Yeah.
I think they're just the ones that they've got they really make a lot of sense. So do Arsenal's, of course, and a lot of quality there, but still some question marks. And I think you just feel like they're going to slot in a lot easier on the City side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not always the quantity, I think. It's the quality. Exactly. That's what made it.
So from Somya Tanwa, how will Liverpool do without Alisson? Also, love your videos. This question was actually also asked by Yeety McYeaterson.
That's a real name.
Yeah, that's a real name. Liverpool without Alisson. Won a trophy already, of course.
Won a trophy. It's a tough one because when you think about a great goalkeeper, and I remember this years ago when Edwin van der Sar broke the record for the longest time without conceding a goal, he had a fantastic defence in front of him. That's not to say that Alisson's not a great keeper, but he isn't as tested as much as a regular goalkeeper because he has such a wonderful defence. So with Adrian in net, when he's called upon, yes, you'll be able to identify, would Alisson have saved that because Adrian didn't? But for the rest of the time, I'm not sure Liverpool will be tested so much. It's much more difficult to judge rather than, you know, a lesser team who's going to get peppered with shots all day, and you're going to have to be ready. Their games could go by where whoever's in net doesn't have to do anything.
Correct, but when you then come to potentially, I mean, you know, Alisson, of course, will come back at some stage. But I think in the big games you'll see the difference with when you have an Alisson versus when you do not. And as you said, there might be games where the keeper is not tested, but when he is, it's the ones that stand up where you really see the difference in the quality.
That's what I mean. So like the save against Porto in the was it Porto?
Yeah, was it Porto? But I know which one you're talking about.
The save Napoli, in the Champions League. Would Adrian have made that save? If he doesn't, then you can point to the fact that Alisson wasn't in goal.
Sure, yeah.
But you know, he's still a Premier League goalkeeper, so.
And if he's going to be out, at least this is probably the best time to be out at the start of the season.
True. I mean, he's going to miss one Champions League group game.
Yep. So there you go. Yep. Should
better now than at the end. Right, next up from Jason Acosta, it says, do you think there'll ever be a women's manager managing a men's team?
So there already has, of course.
I believe. Wait, let me see if I can remember.
Sure.
Was it in France?
There was also in France, Germany. Imke Wubbenhorst actually coached a lower league men's semi-professional team as well. Probably the most famous was Chan Yun Ting. She was in Hong Kong. Won a trophy actually. With I think it was Eastern United. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there have been actually quite a few examples. I think the US have had a couple as well. Quite a few examples of women trainers and managers as it was. I think we haven't had obviously the high-profile team yet that's had a women's manager, but the way things are going, the way the women's game is changing, becoming a far more prominent part of the world game in general, you can't rule it out in the future.
No, not at all.
Again, when is another thing, but there's going to be more and more opportunities for great women's coaches, and there are plenty out there. We see them during the World Cup as well, to get opportunities in the men's system, so why not?
I think Phil Neville getting the England women's job is also like proven that you can
go both ways.
You can go both ways
100%.
completely.
And there's no reason why it can't also go the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely not.
So, from Scooby Snacks, who is the best player out of the promoted teams in the Premier League?
The best player, I'm going to go for Jack Grealish.
Okay.
Aston Villa. I think he's not. If he were to move to a top six side, I'm not sure he'd get what he needs to show that he's a top player. I'm not sure he'd get the minutes or the chances, or sort of be given the responsibility, which a player like him, you know, with, I'd say a big attitude, but also because he knows he can play. I'm not sure, you know, you couldn't see that if he was sat on the bench and coming off every so often.
Wasn't with Spurs for quite some time.
Wasn't with Spurs. Again, speaking honestly, I'd love to have him at Spurs because I think he's a fantastic player. But for his career, no. He needs to be in a position to make mistakes and then still be given the captain's armband and still be given the ball and the responsibility in 38 games for the whole season. And
I think also he went off the rails, or his head was turned when all that transfer speculation came along, and really has had some good Premier League games earlier on in his career, but hasn't been in the Premier League for a few seasons now, so probably needs to actually prove that before that next step, but it's a good call.
The weekend's the perfect example. He made a mistake for Spurs' second goal. The last thing you want is him dropped, sitting on the bench and worrying about a loan deal if he's at a top six club for the next 5 weeks.
Correct,
He needs to be out there on Saturday, whenever Villa are playing next. Who's yours?
I don't know, actually.
There've been a lot of signings.
Yeah, there are a lot of signings,
The thing is, I was tempted to say Timu Pukki, because he was the Championship top scorer with
so
29
many goals last season, and obviously has already scored this season.
Against Liverpool.
It's a great call. But I think again, actually he's been a great story for his career. But I think there's a lot of football to be played.
Big step. Yeah. Right, next up, Christian Young. Which team is more likely to drop out of the top six, if any? Chelsea, Man U, or Arsenal? I'm glad you didn't put Spurs on there. I think City, Liverpool, Spurs.
Does that mean you're already out of the top six?
No, I think those three are just a step, but wait and see.
It's a super tough one. I mean, Chelsea are going to have an interesting season. They're going to find their feet, but obviously at times last night were pretty impressive. Arsenal, as we talked about, have actually brought in some really nice, exciting players to maybe balance out their squad. How they settle is another thing. United have really improved their defence, but have some big holes elsewhere, potentially. I feel like we bash on United a bit here. because it's, we've seen them be successful for so long. I actually do think, though, it might be United more at risk. Yeah.
I'm going to go just for Chelsea.
Yeah,
it's going to be
Chelsea,
tough.
Super tough. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah. So from Warblazer 360, there we go. Do you think Man United will have a good season after the 4-0 win?
I think you mentioned it. The fact that they've shored up their defence means that even if the rest of the team's having a bit of an off day, if they don't concede, they're still taking 0-0 draw away.
Yep.
So if if Pogba's messing around and the strikers aren't scoring, if you reduce your chance of conceding, you're still not going to be in as much trouble as last year.
It's at least the sign of a good team coming together when you have a solid defence. And I think that's where United have really missed that nucleus in this upheaval of managers and big money transfers that didn't work out. And if they can actually get the back four nice and solid there, and still a lot of football to be played, a lot of tests to come, then at least that is the buttress for a really good, solid season. So, tough one, but good season or no?
I think they will.
Yeah? Improved at least?
Yeah, improved.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely improved. So very quickly, a reminder to smash the subscribe button because we're on the road to 400k as we mentioned last week. We're going to do this every week until
it's going to be a long road, but we're here for the long haul. So
absolutely. Yeah. So thanks so much for your support. But let's get back into it. Arun, I think. Arun?
Yes.
47.
Yes.
Which Premier League manager will be sacked first this season, or will there be no sackings?
There will definitely be sackings. I would eat my shoe if there were no sackings, and I have lost some bets on this channel before. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I think Pellegrini at West Ham. I also don't think it's going to be a lot of his fault. I just feel this squad has a lot of talent, but not a lot of. I don't know, just it doesn't feel like a team yet. And I think Pellegrini is a good manager. We've seen that through his career. That's why he's had a long career. But West Ham are also, their owners are very trigger happy when they've worked through a lot of managers in the last couple of seasons. I actually think that probably that's the one I see most at risk. Of course, from the newly promoted teams, there'll be something there. I see Newcastle United as probably struggling as well, but I think they actually hold on to them. That's one thing that Ashley does. He tends to hold on to managers a little bit.
That's the thing nowadays. I think you look a bit stupid being trigger happy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And the promoted teams, what else do you expect apart from a dogfight?
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. And then there's a certain point where you have to make a change. I get that. But I think you really need to know when to make that change. Who would you say?
So you're saying Pellegrini.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a really tough one. I can't put a name on it, but I would say one of these teams who underachieves. So whether it's Javi Gracia at Watford, I don't see him being sacked, but if Watford underachieve massively with the squad and the money that they've spent, Everton as well, West Ham, potentially even Southampton.
So it's those mid-lower table
the
teams.
Ones that fall short, because what are you expecting from a promoted team?
Sure, makes sense. From Noor Riaz Vlogs, why has no one thought of buying Hakim Ziyech when his release clause was just 25 million euros? Of course, he's signed a new deal, so that's off the table now. Bayern missed out and probably lives to regret it right now. Why did no one maybe go in for him?
I have no idea. That is my professional opinion. I don't know.
It's strange.
The same thing happened with Alderweireld. He was ready. And, Man United wanted to pay 80, 90. There's Koulibaly, Maguire, Varane, blah, blah, blah.
They just missed the boat on both ones, I think.
But it's not like nobody knew. It was over the newspapers.
100%. And when you look at some of the prices of the players, similar players of position and quality that have moved for much, much more, there was some...
But it's not like he's playing for an unknown team. Ajax are the most talked about team at the end of last season.
Correct, yeah.
I feel like anyone who phoned them up would be like, what about that 25 million kid?
Sorry, you're breaking up. Maybe that's why. But anyway, opportunity missed.
I have no idea. He would have been a great signer for anyone. Next up, Mr. Awesome GR said, what's the team that everyone is sleeping on for a really good Champions League run?
So, I mean, would we say this was the Ajax almost of last season?
Yeah, the Ajax of last season.
Oh, tough one. This is really just sort of like picking a name out of the barrel, which is obviously what they do when they do the draw. I feel like this could be it could be a time for an Italian team that we haven't seen in a while to actually show something. So I mean, there's obviously some quality there.
Yeah.
There's been some good transfers come in there outside of Juventus. I mean, and there's still a bit to come with this whole Icardi, Dzeko sort of thing.
Do you think Inter?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they've finally got a manager who they actually seem to be confident in.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Lukaku's up top.
Made some big signings.
Yeah.
Maybe questionable in some areas, but also logical if that's the way that Conte wants to play. Yeah, maybe Inter. Yeah.
Maybe
Yourself?
Inter. Well, I think it's difficult to say some of the teams that are normally in it because on the basis of last season, you'd normally see someone like Dortmund.
Yeah.
But then on the basis of last season, when they met Spurs and got absolutely
super poor. Yeah.
trashed.
Yeah.
Porto have just been knocked out.
Yeah, some big teams have been knocked out as well. Yeah.
Maybe Benfica.
Yeah.
They've always got a good team, but they put in some okay performances last year.
Super
it's
tough
difficult.
one though. Yeah,
it is difficult. I'm going to go actually.
Go on then.
I'm going to go for Lille.
Oh yeah?
Because they had a brilliant season finishing second.
Lost a couple players.
They did lose a couple. They did bring a few in.
They did. They have spent wisely, it looks like.
10 players, I think, for 100 million. Obviously, losing Pepe is massive. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
Give Lille a shot. Watch them finish bottom with 6 losses.
From the Watson 11, what's your favourite one-game tournament, like the Community Shield and the Super Cup or the Super Copa de España? What's your favourite one-game playoff tournament, whatever?
I don't know. I don't really like any.
Thanks for playing along.
They all have like a sort of pre-season friendly feel.
You're a real sport,
mate.
Yeah.
What's my...
I mean, you got to say the way that Liverpool clearly loved winning the Community Shield, that was actually refreshing to see.
The Super Cup.
The Super Cup. Yeah. That was actually really refreshing to see. Yeah.
I guess that is cool because you're effectively pitting the two European champions against each other, and it's a match which you may not see. Obviously, Liverpool, Chelsea, you do every so often. Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. The Community Shield in England for me just means that the season's going to start soon, so it kind of gets me excited. But until Spurs are in, I'll let you know. Next up from Abdirahim Hussein, would you rather sign Frankie de Jong and Virgil van Dijk, or Kevin De Bruyne and Matthijs de Ligt?
Ooh, wow. That's a doozy.
That's a tough one.
So, De Jong and de Ligt?
No, De Jong and Van Dijk.
Sorry, De Jong and Van Dijk. So you're going to be pretty. You won't get the opposition won't get the ball past the field. And then De Bruyne and de Ligt. Oh, crops. I'd probably just go with Van Dijk and De Jong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go with the other.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, without knowing the players around him, but it's a great question. I just think that Van Dijk is the finished article there, not that De Bruyne isn't, of course.
I think Van Dijk's the better option than De Ligt, definitely.
Yes.
Out of the two defenders, but I think Kevin De Bruyne is better than Frankie de Jong.
100%, yeah. So, at this stage, yeah.
And we'll just mix them both.
We'll just have them all, thanks. But good question.
There's no wrong answers for that one.
From Ali Rami, who finishes his meals fastest, Matt, Paddy or Nico? So this one I will definitely be last in, at least to scale. If you have a look at, it's got to be you, man. Your mouth is huge.
Yeah, that's true. I do eat quite fast.
Yeah, Nico doesn't eat at all.
Yeah. But you eat small meals.
I do, yeah. I'm a small man.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hence the big mouth.
Yeah, hence the big mouth and the large appetite. I would say I finish first.
100%.
Everyone who knows me would say I eat really quick.
There you go.
So yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah, probably was your guess as well, Ali. Yeah.
Should we leave a poll or should we just?
If you want. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna get all gluttonous abuse. So maybe not. But thanks so much. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for leaving your questions. As always, on YouTube, on the community tab every Wednesday night. Make sure you look out for our post calling for all of your questions. But until next time.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.